vai! This was it. We are leaving Valencia with today. We will start our mission Caribbean. We will head now south, finally making it to Gibraltar and then to the Canary Islands, and from there the next big project, the Atlantic crossing.
We got some wind, like perfect conditions, 14-15 knots max. It's quite stable, the sea is super calm, so we are going with like 6-7 knots. And we're literally flying south to Alba, something.
We'll put the name here.
The wind quickly changed direction and we needed to stop for the night. When we leave for such long passages, we always map out all the possible anchorages before we leave to be prepared for all weather situations. Especially now in September, the weather is constantly changing and we went from sunny moments to heavy wind and heavy rain in a short time. But luckily, the rain moment helped also to catch some fish.
Oh, I think it's a mahi-mahi. Is that mahi-mahi? No?
Even if it was such a small one that we decided to throw it back in. In general, we had many good sailing moments and sailed mostly through the nights, stopping only for bad weather.
And we are actually sailing. It's so nice to finally be able to switch off the motor. We heard that noise too much in the last day, so we're very happy that we finally are able to move mainly with our sails again. As we're having such a nice sail right now, we thought it might be interesting to you to actually see what are we doing when we are out at sea so many hours in a row. So today we're actually going to show you all those things that we do while we're sailing, and we're starting with our favorite thing. So let's go and see what Michael is doing right now. What are you doing, Michael, right now?
Cooking! Risotto time!
So obviously at the beginning it was not that easy and you might get a little bit seasick down here, but
aquí Cartagena Mario, por favor indícame el número de personas a bordo y el número de personas heridas. Cambio.
But with time you get used to it, especially with the conditions right now. As you can see, it's not shaking a lot. That's the great thing when you're sailing and not motoring, because you're actually going with the sea and the winds are kind of becoming one wonderful thing and just heading on.
Activity is eating, and you should make sure that you have enough food on board, but also like quick foods in case the weather is changing, so you're able to grab something without preparing or cooking it for a long time. And yeah, actually weather is changing quite often, so enjoy. More minutes and then we're tacking again.
Yes, sailing is actually also an activity we're doing on our sailboat. So most of the times when we have the sails out, there is a lot of watching out, a lot of preparing, a lot of sail trimming and whatever else you need to be doing while you're actually sailing. Obviously the higher the winds are, the more the sailing part actually takes up of our time and the more we have to be cautious. So what does the sailing part actually involve? We have to check on the navigational charts what is ahead of us. So are there any, danger marks, or how is the coast actually looking? Where do we have to sail? Do we have to adapt our course? The second thing is obviously looking at the sails itself. So how are the sails looking right now? Do we have to trim them again? In comparison, obviously with the wind, so the third thing to watch out is what is the wind doing. Especially here in the Med, it can change pretty quickly, so you have always to have an ear for the wind actually. You get used to feeling the wind through your boat and actually also with the sounds, but obviously looking also on your instrument, it's what gives you the knowledge in the end. And then comes the actual sailing, like tacking, which we have to do now. So let's do a tack together. This might have looked like a horribly slow tack, but this is actually on purpose. We have right now 5 fishing rods behind us there, so whenever we turn we have to do it a little bit more slowly than you would do if you're actually like proper sailing. But yeah, that brings us to my favorite activities, fishing. Look how this is looking,
So sad. It's so sad. We try hard, but there is barely any fish in the Mediterranean. Like really, either you really know the spots or you stay there for the whole day. But yeah, fishing by trolling is not a patient. But it's still my favorite activity. This also happens. A lot of chaos if you take too fast. So. Another thing we do while sailing. So 99.9% of the fishing is actually just preparing and checking the lines. And then like rarely a fish.
Fishing does actually take up some time for Michael. you know, you have to choose the baits, change the baits to find, you know, the perfect ones. And if all of this is over, you sit back, look really, really hard at the baits and try to mentally convince the fish to bite. And what I'm doing while Michael is doing all that fishing, I nap. And I'm actually really good at it. And in my opinion, every sailor should be good at napping. I know you might be laughing right now, but it's with the food. Nobody needs a tired or hungry sailor when the weather is getting bad. So whenever you have nice weather, just take the chance to take a nap, fuel up your energies, especially if you are on such long sails, because you never really know what is awaiting you in front there, especially now in autumn, you know. Weather forecasts are, weather forecasts. They're nice, they give you a feeling, but then you have to actually adapt on what you are seeing around of you.
Yeah, Greta is definitely a heavy sleeper and can sleep in all conditions. I can't, so to recharge my batteries, I read a good book or start working. So it's not only sun and relaxing, also during our sails we have to work to create content for you guys and for our jobs we have back home.
Guys, we are finally in Malaga. Wow, that was quite some miles that we did in those last 10 days. I have to say, sometimes I was a little bit scared if we will make it, because the wind and weather were forecasted a lot heavier than we luckily experienced on our way, and they should have been most time against us. But luckily some wind and weather god and sea god or whatever decided to let us pass through, and we made it safely here to Malaga. Oof. Now we will take a short rest, and then we actually will pick up two friends who will join us to cross the Gibraltar, which is going to be epic, because this means we actually made it across the whole Mediterranean. We started this January in Israel, and hopefully next week, because I don't know yet if we make it next week, but hopefully next week we will be able to cross the Gibraltar and with it close our Mediterranean chapter to be ready for the Atlantic. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. Let's see what happens. So hit the subscribe button and check in next week, and let's hope the next episode will be about Gibraltar and the end of this first amazing chapter here in the Mediterranean.